leaving crews with no food or funds to get home. And with a recent survey showing that 1 in 5 seafarers has thought of self-harm, concern is growing for their mental health. Our correspondent Mike Thompson reports.
While lockdown may have come to feel akin to some form of house arrest for many of us, spare a thought for those marooned on ships, often thousands of miles from home. Ukrainian seafarer Yuri Babe.
I called the company and said, no, I will not sign on new contract, I just want to go home. They said, it's impossible, please understand us. I feel angry because I want to go home.
During the first wave of the pandemic, Yuri was stranded aboard his ship for several months. Now it's happened again off the Indian coast, and he's struggling to cope.
It was a little bit hard emotionally and psychologically. Money is money, but I don't want to lose my head.
400,000 seafarers are now stranded across the globe, far more than last year, according to Fred Kenny of the International Maritime Organization.
The time we last spoke, we were estimating that it was 200,000. The longer the crisis went on, the more the number went up.
So since the first wave, the number of stranded seafarers has doubled.
That's correct.
Mr. Kenny says some seafarers have now been stuck at sea for more than 21 months. Due to quarantines, closed borders and other travel restrictions, they can't get off their ships and relief crews can't get on. And that's not even the worst of it.
In the first quarter of 2021, we've seen a dramatic rise in the number of ships being abandoned and the crews being abandoned, where the ship owner walks away from the ship and leaves the seafarers completely stuck with no wages, in many cases, no access to clean water and food supplies.
I am 11 days, very bad situation. Ship is no electric, no food and fresh water, no help, and no heater.
The owners of Vebi Kara's cargo ship, Keenan Mehta, abandoned the vessel 5 months ago. After making it ashore in India, Turkish master seaman Vebi is still waiting to be repatriated.
I want to go to home, but I don't know how many days, how many weeks, how many months. I am waiting repatriation.
When did you last get aid?
I am 10 months to ship. Zero money. Owners not give the salary.
Dropping anchor used to signify arriving home, or at least a very welcome onshore break. Now, due to COVID controls, many seafarers face weeks in port confined to their ships. Though getting on board in the first place can be a very lengthy business. Richard Craven from Yorkshire skippers a 40-cruise super yacht, now docked in Singapore.
For PCR tests, we flew to Dubai, which is the only country that have us over there because of our British strain of COVID. So 14 days in Dubai, then into 14 days isolated quarantine in a hotel room in Singapore. The world's longest commute is what I'm calling it, a month to get to work.
Dear brothers and sisters, especially all seafarers around the world.
It's unprecedented. We are in a seafarer crewing crisis.
Cameron Mitchell, director of the Isle of Man Ship Registry, believes religion is also important to many seafarers, especially during the pandemic. So his company has launched an app that enables Mass to be beamed to crews across the world, with services for other religions to follow soon.
The first Mass was last weekend, and we're going to be running that every Sunday. One of the things we've tried to do with the app is to remove elements of isolation, so to get people out their cabins and come together for things like the Mass.
In the meantime, as the pandemic continues, the IMO's Fred Kenny is calling for action.
You are my strength and my soul.
Governments need to have policies and practices that allow for the safe conduct of crew changes. to designate seafarers as key workers and implement policies that will allow for crew changes to occur.
That report from Mike Thompson.